Hey, what's up? This is AJ, and today we're gonna speak about how you can become socially magnetic. That person that everybody looks up to, that person that everybody can relate to. If you've realized, socially magnetic people tend to be the leaders, and this is the fundamentals to becoming that person that you've always wanted to be. And this is literally the secret that billionaires know, millionaires know, successful people know, that unsuccessful people fail to understand. So without further ado, let's crack into this video. So, to be socially magnetic, it means to attract people. According to Psychology Today, between 50 to 76% of people around the world are introverted and cannot attract other people, at least people that they want successfully. I am not saying that introverted people cannot be socially magnetic, cannot be that person that engages the whole room. Of course they can, okay? There are tons of introverted people. I'm introverted and I can literally walk into the room and turn that switch. I mean, I had to expand my comfort zone. When I had to meet teenagers my age, older than me, when I had to research, when I had to go and interview academics in the fields that I was studying for my book, Be Cool, I literally had to expand my comfort zone, my social circle. I really had to put myself out there. But I'm still an introvert at heart. I'd rather stay at home than go out there and meet new people and constantly, look, that's fine, but technically I use a lot of energy to do that. That's okay. But the problem comes when you can't put that switch on in your mind. When you're constantly anxious and nervous and you're constantly avoiding situations when you have to be social. So I'm gonna give you my 3 secrets to becoming a socially magnetic person. The person that everybody just wants to be around. The person that is just so encompassing of their love, their peace, their growth. That person that just gives out infectious positive energy. So without further ado, let's crack into it. Number 1, stories. Tell stories, okay? When you meet somebody new for the first time, the best way, the number 1 way to relate to them on a personal level, to create a connection with them, is to tell them a story, okay? And not just any story, but mainly something that relates to you. So if you meet somebody, and this is something that when I interviewed a lot of the people that, especially the academics or the professionals that deal with individuals that have a lot of trauma, that have been through a lot of damage, a lot of deprivation, okay, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, the therapists, the counselors, the teachers, whatever it is, they all tell you the number 1 way that they use to build rapport with someone else, to build a relationship, to get them to break their wall, is through stories. If you can tell somebody how you've been through what they're going through right now and how you overcame it, you will be able to go over their walls, because when they meet you for the first time, they don't understand who you are, okay? They're not very sure what you're here for, maybe what you want from them, and they see you in a certain light that you don't want to be seen in. But when you are able to tell them a story, you can relate to them on a personal level. The reason why stories are so effective is because when we go back to the human brain, or to the biology of the creatures that we are, humans, we are empathetic social creatures, which means if you can become empathetic or social towards someone else through telling a story, they'll be able to connect with you better. Stories release a chemical in the brain called oxytocin. And this chemical is basically the chemical of trust, love, relationship. So when you tell a story to somebody, you're doing more than just activating their social awareness, but you are actually releasing a chemical in their brain that will automatically change the way that they look at you. This is a powerful secret that a lot of world leaders, a lot of the richest out there, a lot of the people that really hold society, the top tier people, know that the unsuccessful people, the people that are introverted, the people that are anxious, scared, stressed out, do not know. This is why I place so much emphasis on this first tip. Tell stories, okay? The aim is to build rapport. Rapport basically meaning connection or relationship. You want to build a relationship with somebody. Maybe it's somebody you don't know, okay? Maybe you're walking up to somebody just as I had to do. I spoke about this in multiple videos where I had to go and meet new people in the mall. and I didn't know how to engage with them, and I had to ask them personal questions, and you wouldn't go up and get asked personal questions by a total stranger and just feel fine with it. You would obviously have a wall up. So I utilized the idea of stories in order to break down that wall that they may have built against me. So very quickly, I'm gonna give you my basic tips in order to become a better storyteller. Maybe you are a person that does tell stories, but you see that people get bored. People just zone out when you talk. This is gonna help you become that person that just invokes an emotional response from them. Number one, your story should have a clear message behind them. As I said before, if you wanna tell somebody that you've been through what they're going through, maybe you are a parent that wants to explain to their child, their older child, a teenage child, that you've been through what they're going through. You can relate to what they're experiencing. Maybe you're a boss that wants to tell their employee that, hey, it's okay to experience burnout. I can help you with this, this, and this. Maybe you want to meet somebody in your classroom. Maybe you're a teenager and you want to talk to them and you want to be like, hey, look, I know it's stressful right now. I'm also stressed out. Let's go. You want to relate to them, but your story should have a clear message. I can tell you a bunch of times how I've been in situations with people that just go on and on and on and on in a story that does not make any sense. And obviously I would lose my attention span with them. I wouldn't focus on them. It wouldn't impact me. Okay, so you don't want to be that person that just goes on and on with no logical coherence. If you're telling a funny story, a satirical story, make sure that you have a hit or a twist or some type of punchline. If you're telling an emotional story, make sure you stick to the reason why it's emotional. You can't be out here just talking about stupid things. A lot of people, in fact, and this is another tip. I'm just looking at my trusty book here, the black book, as usual. A lot of people go onto side stories, okay, side tangents that don't make sense. When I make videos, I focus on what I have to speak about. I use my book as a reference because I researched about it and I give value. That's what you should be doing when you're telling stories. Number two, your story should follow this structure. It should have a beginning, a rise, a climax, a decrease, and a resolution, a satisfying resolution. So your beginning could be, hey, I was on my way to the mall, and then your rise could be like when I saw a trail of water into the toilet. And the climax could be, it turns out that there was a huge busted pipe and water was just spreading like crazy. They had to call the police and the firemen, whatever it is. And then your decrease could be, and so I ended up having to take off my shirt and literally put it on the pipe so that the water doesn't spread out and it doesn't cause a huge mess. And then your resolution could just be, I don't know, then the police showed up and they gave me a new shirt and I was really happy. So that is literally as simple as your story could be. It doesn't have to be that difficult, okay? A lot of us, when we think of a story, we want to have a long 1 hour story where we're talking about what we went through and how our minds went to you. You don't have to do that. It can be as simple as beginning, rise, climax, decrease, resolution, satisfying resolution. Another thing you can add is instead of a resolution or instead of a climax, you can have an anti-climax. I was on my way to school when I heard a certain sound. I walked closer and I saw the shadow of a lion. The lion had it was huge. I was about to come and it was a dog. That is an anti-climax. That's a very, very bad example of an anti-climax, but that is an anti-climax indeed. Number three, try your best not to go onto side tangents. Don't try and go onto side stories, okay? Stick to your structure, stick to your purpose. Number four, this is a very powerful technique when it comes to putting the person you're speaking to in your shoes, okay? The hallmark of a person that is a very, very good storyteller is somebody who is able to put the person, or for instance, in my case, books, to put the reader into what you're going through, into your shoes. So this is to use your senses. What did you touch? Okay, what did it feel like? What did you smell? Maybe there was a weird smell in the air. What did you taste? Okay, what did you see? All right, what did you hear? So if you can put people into your shoes like that, you will be able to transport them into the story and thus making it more effective. So this is a bad example. Last year, when I went to Durban, I went to the beach and it was really nice. It was very beautiful. And I then went to my grandma's house. That's a bad example. That has no senses. So here is a better example. When I went to Durban last week by the coast, we were driving just along the coast, just by the rocks, looking at the beautiful ocean, how dark blue it was. And I remember just looking at the waves crashing upon the rocks. And once we hit the parking space, or once we got into the parking space and I came out, I actually got hit by a whiff of salty, sea air. And honestly, it just reminded me of the time I was doing this, okay? And as soon as we went and we touched the beachy sand, as soon as we went and we touched those little molecules in the sand, it just felt so freeing. I felt so alive because I felt the heat of the sand on my feet, and I felt the sunlight hitting my face, and I could hear the beautiful sounds of the ocean, the waves just crashing against the rocks and just going over, and you really, and this is outside of story, you really just building that emotional response in the person so they could understand how you felt. By the way, these are just all examples I just made up, okay? They're really bad, but you get the idea. Number 5, use gestures, facial expressions, and body language. When you're meeting somebody, especially for the first time, it is very important to use gestures, okay? You want to use gestures that are open. Gestures are basically the movements that you do when you speak. So when I speak to you on camera now, I use a lot of these hand gestures, not because I'm crazy, but because I'm trying to convey the importance of a point or something that I give to you. Because it is very important you understand what I'm saying, because it will help you become the best you can be. That is what I want. That is what I am here to do. By using facial expressions, you are going to engage the person more. You're going to make them less likely to zone off or to zone out from what you were saying and to really look at you and really engage. Another important tip is to keep eye contact. Eye contact is literally the secret to making what you say impact other people. And obviously use open body language. And this is going to be a part of the next tip or the last tip, I can't really remember, but if I come to you and your arms are crossed, right? Your arms are crossed, or if I come to you and your hands are in your pocket and your hands are up like this, it won't be easy to talk to you. I won't be able to bring down my wall. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video, if this video gave you value, all you have to do is just click the like button. It just takes 2 seconds. It's the easiest thing in the world. Just click that like button, that thumbs up. If you want to, if you can, just subscribe for me. It helps the channel a lot. And if you have any questions, just go down to the description below and just type it out. I respond to all my comments. I like all my comments. If you want to get my attention, go to the comments and type something out. If you want more videos on how to become the social butterfly, how to become the best person socially, type out, I want more social videos. If you can go to the comments and type it out, I will see how many people want that and I will make more videos that impact you. Without further ado, thank you for watching this video. This was just part 1 of the 3-part series. Let's crack into your growth.